I want to play basketball, but I don't want to practice dribbling, shooting, doing layups, defending, any fundamentals basically. I don't want to practice anything. By the way, this game sucks. Change the ball.
Okay, y'all saw the video. Okay, so I want to discuss this because I honestly believe that there is a a level of, it's hard, I don't want to call it elitism. I don't want to call it elitism, but at the same time, there is a level of anti-casual mentality. I'll say that it was an anti-casual mentality where when it comes to fighting games, there is not many, like, the mentality around fighting games for the better part of 10 years, but about better part of a decade, like, have been very anti-casual, where you see it in the video. You see it in the video, right? Number one, I think as a avid casual fighting game fan, I am very casual when it comes to fighting games. I just like I'm a player where I like to have fun. I want to enjoy myself playing fighting games, right? I love playing fighting games, don't get me wrong. But but there's two sides to the fighting game. The way There's two sides to it, right? And there's this fighting game video where someone was talking about the different archetypes of uh players that play fighting games, right? And different types of characters for each type of player. There's a fighting game archetype that's like the trickster, or the character that's like just the wacky, goofy characters, right? The people that play those types of characters are like, most other players that other archetypes in the community don't like those types of players. Don't like the goofy, wacky characters because these characters are just learning to have fun. They're just having fun. They're enjoying the set that they're playing. They're not directly trying to win per se, but their mentality isn't about just winning, right? And I think that's, for me, I think that's the biggest difference, is that a lot of fighting game players that are into fighting games, and the executives and the people who make these fighting games, they are so uh their mentality is so for, like, finding out ways to win the game, win the fight, versus enjoying the fight, enjoying the actual fight itself, right? Um, and I think that there's that mentality is just uh not good. Hold on, shut the fuck up. I think that mentality is just not. It's not. It's not conducive to casual players. Like, casual fighting game players are less likely to want to play the game because they can see the community behind it, and the community behind it is so, like, anti-casual that they kind of make you believe, they kind of want you to believe, they want to indoctrinate you into the idea that you have to learn these combos, you have to do these things in order to have fun with the game. And fighting game developers themselves even kind of just let it happen. They kind of appease those types of players because those are the ones that focus on frame data. They're the ones that focus on, like, meta characters. They're ones that focus on, like, and these are the popular pros, like, in the competitive scene. the competitive scene in fighting games, in my opinion, is the biggest reason why the fighting game genre is not as popular as it could be. Because, in my opinion, the competitive scene is so overblown and so seen as like, oh my god, these guys are just gods at the game. They just know everything about the game, about the frame data, all the specific things. They know all of it. So we have to glaze them, and because the community is glazing them, the developers also have to glaze these pro players as well. And this is not just fighting games. This is also like um, other competitive games as well. But fighting game is much more uh, accepted amongst the fighting game community, right? So going back to this video, I want to number one, this is unfair of a this is not really real. This doesn't say much. I'll tell you why.
I want to play basketball, but I don't want to practice dribbling, shooting, doing layups, defending, any fundamentals, basically.
Okay. Okay. He said I want to practice basketball, but I don't want to learn in fundamentals. My uh my rebuttal on that is simply pickup ball. Have you played street ball? Have you played pickup ball at all? You know what I'm saying? Soccer is another example. Soccer is another example. Any sport really is another example where there there is no you do not need to learn the fun to the like all you need to know is the basic rules of the game. But you don't need to know the fundamentals of the game. Those are two different things. The rules, like the official like football rules, like the rules of football is what makes football football. The rules of soccer, football, is what makes soccer soccer. The rules of basketball is what make basketball basketball. But the rules of a fighting game is what make the fighting game a fighting game. However, you don't have to stick to those rules. You know that, right? When it comes to soccer, it's one of the biggest games in the world. It's one of the biggest sports in the world. Quite literally one of the biggest sports in the world. But there are so many different ways to play soccer just in general, and they're not competitive. These are just people who play like there's people who play in like little small like squares, and they have like I forgot what it's called, but they don't play on grass. They play on like flat surfaces. That's a different type of soccer, right? And then there's ones that play there's a mud ball, which is soccer, but they play in mud. For some fucking reason. I don't know. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And they're like people who just want to enjoy the sport for what it is, right? Isn't it? We're not trying to engage in this game in this way. I don't want to engage in the fundamentals of a certain sport because I just want to play the game. I just want to play soccer. I just want to play basketball. I don't need to know the fundamentals of what it means to play basketball. He's talking about like
Don't want to practice
dribbling, shooting,
doing layups.
I don't need to learn all that. I don't need to play basketball. I don't have to learn all that. I know how to do basic stuff. I know the basics, right? But like
Defending any.
and also, you're adding in my opinion, in this, like, dribbling and shooting and doing layups is things that everybody knows how to do when it comes to basketball, skilled or not. Defending is not part of that list. Knowing how to defend is not part of that list. I don't care what you say. Knowing how to defend in basketball is not part of that list. That is something you learn when you get to intermediate levels of skill. You don't need to learn how to be a good defender to play street ball. Like, all you need to know how to do is just get the ball from them. No matter how you do it, depends on the rules of the pickup ball. Like, there's house rules for a reason. There's a reason why sports and any type of group activity Like anytime, like Uno has house rules, card games have house rules, basketball has house rules, soccer has house rules. You can change those rules whenever you feel like it because it's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to enjoy the activity of basketball, the activity of Uno, the activity of soccer, the activity of fighting games, right? All I'm saying is that you don't need to learn these. These are options. This is an optional thing. You don't need to do this. And I feel like when people get up, when fighting game enthusiasts get mad at casuals for not wanting to learn how to do all these, uh, do like all these combos and stuff, right? Like that's not fair to the casual player. When it comes to fighting games, like casuals, like okay, I'm gonna go into the comment section of this video because there's a lot of conversation in this comment section. But one of the things for me, before I get into it, I'm gonna say that I genuinely do not think that learning, like me having to learn a combo, is not is optional. It's optional. It's completely optional. Some games make it less optional because what I'm saying, like if you want to get more wins, of course. But that's the thing. Like you're pushing people, or the ideology around the fighting game community is that you should want to win more. You should want to get more wins under your belt. When in reality, it shouldn't be about wins. It should just be about enjoying the fight, enjoying the game that's presented in front of you, just having fun. I don't want, like, sometimes if I lose a round, it's like, man, you know, like, yeah, you got ego there because you think you've leveled up, but like it's about the journey of just fighting and just enjoying the, like, for example, Itman. Y'all know Itman? We know Itman, right? You'll see if you've seen the Itman movies, or IP Man. I don't know. IP Man. It's easier because Itman is hard to. Anyway, um, if you've seen the Itman movies, right? My bro, he's not trying to win every fight he's in. You realize that, right? When he gets into fights because he's doing it for a bigger purpose other than wanting to win a fight. Now, he does have his moments where he is egotistical about him wanting to win a fight, right? But that comes with the territory sometimes. But most of the time the dude is just chilling. You know what I'm saying? He's just chilling. He's just enjoying himself. He likes fighting. Goku is a good example too. Goku likes fighting. He doesn't really care about winning, but he happens to win a lot because he's that good of a fighter. That does not mean that every time you get into a fight, you need to win. You should just enjoy the fact that you're in a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how else to explain it, but like I genuinely believe that for me, when I'm playing casually, there needs to be uh in my opinion, like more people need to learn to just be okay with the fact that you're not going to win every fight and you shouldn't want to win every fight. It's insane to think you should win every fight if you practice hard enough. Because there's this there was a video. I'll have to I don't know, I'll have to find the video, but there's this video talking about like the skill ceiling of fighting games is directly a problem because a lot of people who invest their time into finding out the best ways to win a fight and to always find a way. That's why people don't like. That's why a lot of people, when they talk about like the 50-50, people don't like 50-50s in games, in fighting games. Not all people, but I'm saying like a lot of people, the vocal people tend to not like 50-50s in video games because it removes uh control. It You can't control the situation. But that's literally how fighting works in real life. That's literally how fighting works in real life. In real life scenarios, if you're fighting somebody, it is a partial chess game and a mental it's a mental strategy game alongside 50-50s, where you have a 50% chance of getting kicked in the throat. You have a 50% chance of kicking them in the throat in any given scenario where you're fighting somebody, depending on how good you two are, right? And I honestly believe that fighting games need fighting game developers need to stop appeasing these types of fighting game players, where the certain fighting game players that are so invested in frame data and all this like plus on block, all this bullshit, because they're trying to control the game. They're trying to control an uncontrollable scenario. That's the biggest problem that I have with the fighting game community, is that a lot of people, when they hate on certain players, or when they hate on how casual people talk about fighting games, they get upset because they can't, like they're mad. They're mad at the idea that people do not want to be like, I don't want to have to control the scenario all the time. And the games kind of force you to do that because the way they build the way the devs build the mechanics of the game, right? They kind of give you that control over the game, but it's like, at that point, this is just not fair, right? There's a balancing act. That's why like game developers have a problem with balancing fighting games, because when you nerf a character, right, it makes them less control. Makes them have less control over the fighting game. What's it called? Over the match, right? Because they're weaker in some aspects or whatever, and then they buff a character, which makes them have more control, right? Especially in a game where like you have less 50-50s happening in the game. It's just bad. It's just bad, and I genuinely believe that like there needs to be more casual game modes as to where that isn't an issue, right? I want to be able to hop into a fighting game and just play a casual game mode without feeling like I'm going to get like destroyed, you know what I'm saying, in a situation, or without feeling like I have to know all the specifics of my frame data just to win, you know what I'm saying? I don't like, or whatever. Yeah, I feel like it's complicated. I obviously, like, the things I'm going to be saying in this video is going to have levels of contradictory to it, but it's true. I mean, it's just my reality. It's how I feel. I'm a competitive person, but at the same time, I want to be able to have fun. I want to goof off. Well, I don't want to have to like lock in every time I play a fighting game. Like, it's annoying, bro. Okay, here we go. Let's get to the comment section. Okay, fighting games need to stop watering themselves down for people who just won't play them. Um, well, they can't really do that if they're not playing them. Then they're not going to be focused on those players. But I mean, I guess. I recently learned my first baby mode fighter. I don't know what. I forgot what game that is. I think the people who think like this are the same people who hate turn-based games. That's I'm not sure where that correlation is. Once I started treating fighting games like they're turn-based, everything clicked. Okay, yeah, I mean, I get it, right? It is pretty much turn-based. Like, when you think about it, like, fighting games are very pretty much turn-based, right? But it's a fast-paced turn-based, quick. Well, I like turn-based games, and I'm a casual player that, like, this video is kind of aimed at people like me who are very casual when fighting games. I like turn-based games. I think turn-based games are fun, but the problem is that the concept of a fighting game in my head isn't turn-based, right? but they're treating it as it is turn based. That's what the fighting game devs are doing for a lot of games, and it is turn based pretty much because you can only do so much in a video game. You know what I'm saying? It kind of has to be turn based, right? Um, but I don't know. I like there has to be more examples of other games that don't treat it like a turn based. And I'm not that knowledgeable about every fighting game ever. People complain about having no agency in fighting games and get touched to death because they think if they mash harder and faster, they should automatically win. Okay, yeah, yeah. That's a certain demographic of people, sure. It's based on taking your turn when you strip it down. True, I agree with this. It is fighting games are turn based. I don't think this these are the same people that hate turn based video games though, because it's not. I don't think that's the same thing. But if you look at the fighting game, like the genome of a fighting game is pretty much turn based, right? Fighting games are what Souls players think Souls likes are. I don't play that many Souls games, but punishing knowing when it's your turn, yeah, it's turn based. Here we go. Let's see. I suck at fighting games. I never really train combos or anything, but I still have fun playing 200 hours of lower ranks and fighters, especially against equally bad players. This is this is the thing, right? Like enjoying yourself. Learn. I think a lot of people need to also need to learn to enjoy themselves and not want to win so much. Honestly, like genuinely for me is like sometimes I just want to play the game. I just want to play the game because I like these characters and I like the game mechanics. And I like this is I get it, right? Like we're all bad, but the problem is that I think a lot of people who are into fighting games take take a lot of the top players. It's very top heavy when it comes to opinions, in my opinion. Like there is no reason why you are looking at somebody like Sonic Fox, for example, and everything, and you're taking everything he says and you're just taking it at face or not, you're taking it as a word of God. Like you're basically like, no. This guy is specifically so good at fighting games that his opinion about fighting games damn near in my opinion becomes null and void. I don't care. Right? Because he's naturally good at the game. He's naturally good at fighting games. He doesn't have he is one of those people where like there is um what's the word? Like he is not somebody you need to take advice from, in my opinion, because he's not he's just good at the game. Goku is just good at fighting people. Don't take his advice for learning how to be a better fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't take Goku's advice because you're possibly going to be like the only advice you should take from Goku, in my opinion, is that Goku might tell you, uh, just enjoy the journey. Like you get to a certain point where like you're too good. You become so good at the game that you're not having fun anymore, right? And some people have that issue. Some fighting game players have that issue where they're just so good at the game that they're just not having fun, and then they're gonna tell people advice that is just unfair. Or you shouldn't even have an advice for fighting games. Just pick a character you like and learn the character. It's really that simple. But I don't know. It different advice for different people. I can't really speak on it too much. But for me personally, I don't look at those top players and try to like copy them or anything because then you're just gonna be upset and you're not gonna enjoy the game as much. I think this is a byproduct of the entire game being viewed as this product you need to be good at to enjoy. Obviously, no one wants to get steamrolled, but that comes with the territory if you aren't driven to get better. Yeah, I mean you're gonna lose, and that's fine. You just have fun. And I like a lot of games don't like make it easy to have fun, right? I don't play fighting games competitively, but I enjoy them casually, and I'm okay with getting rolled by players who are better than me. I usually have motivation to play them since I don't have friends, right? And people want that number one spot, and it's like it's almost feels like what's it called, Afro Samurai. You want they want the number one headband, and it's like we you shouldn't strive to get the number one headband. You should just enjoy yourself. People will sink hundreds of hours into first person shooters and then complain about having to practice combos. Not the same thing. That's just not the same thing at all. First person shooters are easy to understand. It's a fucking it's a gun. Pow pow, shoot shoot, aim. It's really that simple. There's like it's practicing combos is totally different. A whole different side of the spectrum than practicing how to shoot better. What are we talking about? That's no. Just no. It's crazy how people will be okay with other games having a crazy skill ceiling, but the moment a fighting game does, it's a problem. It should be dumbed down. I don't. You know what? You know what's funny to me? I don't see people talk about. I don't see these. I don't know where they get this opinion that games need to be dumbed down. That's the developers doing that. That's quite literally the developers doing that. Trying to appease a broader audience by making the game easier to play. That doesn't mean that the game is a better game because it's easier to play. But like that's the developers making that decision. I don't see people talk about I personally don't see people talk about it when it comes to fighting games about how this game should be made easier. I don't see that opinion. I don't know where that opinion comes from, but maybe I'm just not online enough. Like it doesn't make sense that some gamers are okay with having a negative KDA in a shooter and will spend years in aim labs, but practicing to be better in a fighting game is tedious. Well, I mean, some people like shooting over fighting. Like it's that like that that's the thing. Like why are we comparing shooting? Why are we comparing a first person shooter to a fighting game? These are not the same types of games. What are we doing? A shooter a first person shooter game uh, attracts people who like shooting. It attracts people who like to shoot guns. Fighting games attracts people who like to fight with their hands and with weapons and not a gun. I mean, 2XKO kind of like changes that formula, but like a first person shooter is a different experience entirely. It's completely different. You're not like I can understand if you were to say like if there's a fighting game out there that's a first person fighting game, right? If there was a first person fighting game versus a first person shooter, then you can argue like, oh, they won't take the time to learn the first person fighting game. But there is no first person fighting game, not to my knowledge. There's probably an indie game out there that's a first person fighting game. That honestly, that would be an interesting idea to see as a game. Like how would you make a first person fighting game? I hope somebody sees this video and tries to make it happen, bro. I really do. Yeah, please, somebody try to make this happen. A first person fighting game might be peak cinema, bro. I'm not gonna lie. There's third person fighting games and there's also 2D and 3D. But like first person specifically, might be a banger. My main issue with fighting games, not saying it's a bad thing, it's just why I don't play them, is that they aren't very fun to play if you aren't good at them. Yeah. At least with other genres, you can pick them up and have a good time. Also, that's partially with like the community as well, because if you're bad at a fighting game, like the community doesn't always support you, depending on what fighting game we're talking about. Some fighting games have better communities than others. But if you're playing something like Tekken, like or not Tekken, oh yeah, or Street Fighter Six, or like if you're shit at the game, you might get shit on in the community. You might. It's possible. Like, oh, you're not good at this game. Well, that's concerning. Like, I just started the game. What are we talking about? I don't know. You have to have a little bit of masochism. I agree. That's the sad part about fighting games. You gotta be okay with getting beat the fuck up sometimes. Okay. Okay, sure. Let me practice a fighting game. Oh wait, my only options are spending 24 hours of my life in practice mode or going online and losing 100 matches in a row. Because as soon as I miss a block, my opponent locks me in a 15-second unskippable cutscene. This is funny. This is a this is a horrible comment. A horrible response to that comment, because this is a genuine thing that casual players have to deal with. Because I'm sorry that I don't want to spend my life in a fucking practice mode, right? Like I just don't think that that's fair. I want to get in and enjoy the game, and I feel like that's why I propose that more fighting games need to have casual modes. Casual modes where the casual mode helps you understand, like for example, Brawlhalla has like volleyball, you know what I'm saying? Or has like basketball, or like the football variant of Brawlhalla, right? Like those are casual game modes where you can learn about the mechanics of the game while having fun. I know it's crazy, but the idea that, for example, in 2XKO, in 2XKO, there should be a game mode where you're learning how to do the push block, right? With, I don't know, with a fucking basketball or something, or like with volleyball or something, or you playing like a certain game mode where the ball is back bouncing back and forth, right? And you're learning how to use the push block specifically in that game mode. And it's fun because you're bouncing a ball back and forth and you're playing online and you get to play with friends and stuff. That, in my opinion, will change the game. That would change everything. Casual players will feel better about themselves if you give them a game mode that's fun, that also teaches them the fundamentals of the game, that's not just tutorial. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just go into tutorial and just lab. I want to play the game. I want to actually play the game. But I can't do that I can't really do that if I have to learn these combos and go into the lab. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not that interested in learning the combos like that. I don't genuinely, I do not care like that. But there should be game modes that teach you, that's creative. I think, in my opinion, a lot of these game developers are not creative people. I hate to say it. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. I genuinely believe that a lot of these game executives, video game, fighting game developers, and producers and executives and stuff, they're not really that creative. They're not really that creative. They're not. They're not really that creative. I'll tell you why. I just said it. But like, when you feel like you have to, when you double down on what works, like having a training mode and having ranked matches, casual matches, but no game mode to where y'all where like you're not trying to give players a reason to play cat or to just have fun in your game. You're not promoting fun having in your game because you're not making game modes that are fun, that are just fun to play. That's why Brawlhalla, in my opinion, is one of the best like platform fighters you could possibly have. Multiverses had some potential there, but obviously player first games couldn't keep the lights on, so that's unfortunate. But like Multiverses had potential, it had a lot of potential, right? But like it, a lot of fighting games are so insular when it comes to like how they develop their games because I think a lot of developers are afraid of thinking outside of the box uh to get casual players to like their game or to give players an incentive to just hop on and have fun. Like I don't know, like it causes a mentality of people hopping onto a game and they only hop onto the game when they feel like they can take the mental anguish of like you know what I'm saying like it kind of reinforces that masochistic mentality when you don't need to have that. You don't need to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. We could be so much better. We could be so much more popular. But for some reason, a lot of fighting games refuse. A lot of fighting game developers refuse to just like think outside the box for 2 seconds. And then the biggest comeback that everybody always says skill issue. It's ridiculous to expect someone like that. You gotta learn frames and combos and neutrals and whatever for 100 hours to be able to play this 70-year-old. You know what I'm saying? I agree. John Donovan, I agree, bro. I agree, bro. I agree. There needs to be better ways to get people into the game without promoting the fact that you have to lab every combo. Like when they promote fighting games nowadays in the last 10 years, I genuinely believe they want to promote like how what the combos look like. I've been watching Maximilian Dude for fuck years at this point, and he says he's a casual. He's not really a casual. Maximilian Dude is a fighting game like his skill set is like middle of the road. Like he said it himself, he's not like some pro player. But when he thinks of when he talks about fighting games and when he talks about new fighting games, a lot of things that people like him and in the community when they talk about fighting games, a new fighting game that comes out, like, what's the combo look like? What's this look like? What's that? What's the frame data look like? What's that look like? Y'all are so too deep into the weeds, bro. You're too deep into the weeds, bro. I need this, and I mean Maximilian does talk about this from time to time when he talks about like there needs to be a balance between like showing us the combos and also showing us what looks cool in the game. But at the same time, I feel like he doesn't talk about actual casual players that want to play the game because these characters look cool and I just want to hop on and just use these characters and have fun, right? Without having to feel like I have to learn combos to win every match. There needs to be different ways to win matches, bro. Different ways, different modes, game modes. You know what I'm saying? When I feel up to the task to try 1v1 ranked mode, I have the option to choose it. But this shouldn't be the main option when it comes to online playability, bro. Like honestly. That's why story mode in Street Fighter 6 for me was so big because I love the idea of story mode. This is great. I get to play as these characters and not have to feel like I need to learn like every single combo for this character ever for me to be able to beat somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. It's just annoying. This is literally only a problem if you're playing a Discord fighter with a player base of a few hundred. I promise that SF6 Iron Rank is currently full of people like you who can't do combos. No, 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 no. That's disingenuous as fuck. It's not true. Not fully true. I get what he's trying to say with the Iron Rank thing, but like, no, like no, you still have to even in Iron Rank, like you still have to learn these combos because if you want to get out of Iron Rank, that's the reason you're playing ranked, right? There needs to be other ranked ability. I honestly believe that like Brawlhalla has the idea. Brawlhalla has the concept right there. Like ranked brawl ball, ranked um volley brawl, stuff like that. Like that needs to be implemented in other fighting games. There needs to be other game modes that have ranked. What are we talking about? I mean, I guess. Oh, have yet to live frame dead or matchups. People just be. I mean, 90% of Invincible versus criticism on launch. And honestly, the biggest thing, another thing that I really, on the mention of motion inputs, the biggest thing for me is like the reason why I'm going to be bullish why I'm doing making this video is like I'm very serious about this. There needs to be more casual game modes that teach you the fundamentals of the game without it being like a tutorial. It needs to be a game mode that teaches you motion inputs. Like an actual game mode that you can play online where there's motion inputs involved. And if you don't do the motion input right, you miss the ball or you miss whatever mechanic is in whatever they use for the game mode. But you gotta learn the motion inputs. And but that's all you're doing. I genuinely believe like if there's a game mode in Invincible Versus or in Street Fighter 6 where the motion inputs where all you do is just fuck with the motion inputs the whole time in the whole game mode. That's the whole game mode. It's just you fucking with the motion inputs. And if you don't get the motion inputs right, you might lose the game. I think that will be the most obvious genius idea ever in a fighting game. Like, come on, guys. It's not that hard. You want people to learn the combos, but you're not teaching them how to do the combos. Like that's all I'm saying is that you need game modes. You need game modes that teaches players how to do these specific things because you're expecting people to just know how to do it. I'm sorry that the old like when it comes to 2XKO for example. Oh, my bad. I come from MOBA. I come from the MOBA gaming sphere. We don't have motion inputs in the MOBA gaming sphere. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I play on PC. What the fuck is a motion input? And you're expecting them to just know? You're not teaching them. You're not giving them a game mode to teach them how to be used to the idea of a motion input, and you're just throwing them into like yeah, and it's that stuff right there is what really upsets me. Is that there's no reason why you can't put a game mode in there that teaches people how to use motion inputs. Not even just motion inputs, but just other mechanics in the game, like a push block or what's that other one in 2XKO? Or just how to block in general, or how to like do specific things. Like Get creative. Get creative. These developers are not getting creative. They're not getting creative because you can give them this, and you can give them the normal gameplay for. And I'm standing on business with this one. I'm standing on business with it. I don't care what nobody say. This needs to be implemented in fighting games across the board. There's no reason why I can't hop into Street Fighter 6 and play a game mode that allows me to learn Drive Rush and only Drive Rush. It's a game mode that I can play online with other people online, but I'm only learning where all we're doing is using the Drive Rush mechanic. Like they tried to do it with single player in Street Fighter 6. There was things that would teach you how to do these things. There was mini games. Mini games. That's what they would be called. They're just mini games. Small games that would teach you the mechanics of the game itself. In store in the World Tour mode. But they can't do that with a regular game mode in Street Fighter 6 outside of World Tour mode? What are we talking about, bro? Fighting game. I saw this comment and I wanted to talk about this one. Fighting game communities are elitist and unapproachable. Fighting games in general are unapproachable, and that sucks because companies keep defaulting to making a fighting game for their shows. This is true. I think this is true. Fighting game communities are elitist. And they tend to be pretty unapproachable because the games that they've been privy to have not allowed them to have fun. I'm just saying. Honestly, I'm just saying they haven't been allowed to have fun. Haven't been allowed to enjoy the game. Like people are so used to the idea that they have to go into the lab to practice because it's this mentality of like I look at it as like in real life when it comes to learning different fighting styles and different martial arts, right? This is the same idea as when you go to a dojo and the dojo is telling you that in order to get better at fighting, you have to learn this long, like you have to learn how to do this specific move and practice it over and over again with no reward, nothing. You're just practicing this move over and over again. Like it was the militarization of a dojo. What? That's not fun. That's not fun. I don't want to do that. I want to actually fight with people. Like a dojo in real life, if you want to be a good dojo that people appreciate when it comes to martial arts, you need to be able to teach your students in a way that they can have fun while learning. They can't have fun while learning if they're just practicing a move over and over again. That's not fun. That's not directly fun. Some people may find it fun. A very small minority of people are going to find that fun. But most people, if you want to get them into the martial arts, you need to show them what's fun about martial arts, right? You don't show them the specific in lab training, in dojo training that some people do. Honestly, genuinely, you like as a dojo, you should show people that it's fun. Martial arts is fun, right? You should like for example, if you're in kickboxing, right? You shouldn't just be in the dojo just kicking, 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 kicking. There needs to be like some type of game involved, some type of back and forth with the students where um maybe like one of the students is you're throwing, like for example, like you're throwing a ball and you're learning to kick better by kicking the ball that's being thrown at you. That's you learning how to kick better and how to aim better, right? That's literally teaching somebody while making it fun because you can make a game from just that. You can play kickball. Y'all could literally play kickball, and then you can teach each other how to kick better in the kickboxing style, right? By playing kickball, and now you know how to kick better because you're playing kickball with your team. You're playing kickball with the dojo students, right? That's how you get people to have fun and enjoy the martial arts. Community building, pretty much, right? Team building, not just team building, but learning how to get better at stuff like this. In this, in my opinion, is something that has been just rejected and not been implemented enough. It hasn't been implemented enough because they're why are you promoting the fact that you should go into the dojo or go into the lab for fighting games and just practice the same move over and over again to get better? Now, yeah, it could work to get better. Some people do get better by doing that. But that is a vast minority. I'm sorry. It is a minority of people who will go into a lab and find it fun to continuously do the same move over and over again to get better. I'm sorry, but that's not how casuals are going to get into the game. That's not how casuals are going to get into a fighting game, bro. That's not how you're going to convince them to play a fighting game. It's not going to happen. And it's just odd that that's the mentality that we have when it comes to fighting. And I think this is completely this mentality has overrun the community, and there needs that we got in my opinion, I'm fighting against it. I don't care. I'm fighting against this mentality. This shit is dumb. Acting like elitist people are fighting game exclusive. He never said it was exclusive, but okay. And crazy when there are weirdos in every fighting game community. I mean, yeah, are the easiest to get into. That's not true at all. What the fuck are we talking about? I guess in the genre's history, it is easier to get into a fighting game. Actually, I disagree. I disagree. It is not easier to get into a fighting game now than it was before. When I played Street Fighter Alpha Max 3 on the PSP, easy. Easy as hell. If you took that and remastered it, kept the button layout and everything, that would be the easiest game to play. And that is a fucking years, decades old game. No, I genuinely believe that older games are easier to get into than newer games. I don't care what anybody says. Older games are easier to get into than newer games. I don't know where this been. I genuinely do not believe this. This is not true. I do not believe this. It is not easier to get into 2XKO than it is to get into Alpha. It's like Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter 3 or Street Fighter or old school Tekken or old school like what is it called? Virtual Fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like it was easier to play those games. I played Virtual Fighter, like the old one. That is easy as hell. It's just the hitboxes are not great because it's an old game. Right? They didn't have the technology to make the hitboxes as specific as they can now. But it is not easier. It is not easier right now. I do not believe that. It is not easier. It's actually harder. Have you seen the combos and half the games out right now? What the fuck are we talking about? No. No. This is absolutely just wrong. I I partially disagree with this. Street like certain game communities, fighting game communities are helpful. It just depends. Pretty hard to learn a match when the guy I'm fighting knows how to do everything already. I mean, this is like over exaggerating, but at the same time, they're not wrong. Especially if you're new to a fighting game. I don't know how that happens. This is if you're playing ranked, sure. But like if you're playing casual, this is just wrong. There's a reason, honestly, like there's a reason why people like playing Smash Bros. Because Smash Bros is a fun game to play. I don't know how else to explain it. It's a fun game to play. I don't know how it's played competitively because I don't think that's insane to play Smash Bros competitively because it's just not that game is just not for competitive play in my opinion. You don't need to practice at all to play. Exactly. You don't need to practice at all to play basketball. But if you want to get better, you will have to learn those things, which is fine. But you shouldn't have to be like that. You shouldn't be basically peer pressured to learn all this stuff from the jump. Each individual skill can be learned through play, and every skill is play. Right? Dribbling the ball and trying to do moves and fun itself. You never exactly. You don't even need to shoot the ball, low key. And you don't have to do much of fancy anything in fighting games to play them either. I mean, yeah, there are fighting games out and just mash since they're auto combos in modern mode. Sure. You think people play fighting games just to fight? I hate to say it, he's not wrong. Sometimes I just want to see that super. I just want to spam the super because it looks really cool, and I'm making it looks cool. Telling a brand new player they have to learn double quarter circles just to do the super is not good game design. I didn't mean to do that. You win referee a 5-year-old basketball league like an NBA game. True. You can get extremely good at lots of things just by simply trying them and competing over and over again. Yeah, not everybody, but you don't need to compete with anybody in order to get good. You can learn to dribble and shoot without ever competing. That's true. You don't need to play with anyone in order to see the specials and swoopers in fighting game either. That's true. The competition may be better at soccer in ways other forms practice and no other form practice did. The FGs operate in some special separate universe of PvP. Yeah. Can't wait to learn the literal frame counts of my moves and memorize the exact stun time of each kick and special. I'm not against you on that. I'm not against you. You don't even need to do that. If you spend even 1 minute looking at fighting games, is really am I plus or are they plus? You just explained what he just talked about. You reiterated what he talked about. It's not even that, bro. I'm just gonna reiterate like why should I have to worry about if they're plus or I'm plus? I don't give a fuck about that. I don't care. I don't care. I just want to fight. I don't give a fuck. I just want to fight. I just want to fight. I don't care about if they're plus data or not. I don't care about their frame data. I just want to fight. You don't need to know the exact frame data if you're not competing competitively. I disagree. A lot of people make you believe in that, even if you're not playing competitively. The community makes you believe that. Spend hours trying to get into combos and Fire Z, and I don't have the patience or the skill to spend the hours trying to learn, even just the order of buttons to press. Dab me up, bro. Bro, I swear, bro. It like there should be no like I don't want to have to go into a lab and learn the specific ways to get to this fucking staircase combo. I don't give. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about put. I don't care about the specifics. I don't. It's not fun for me. That's not fun. It's not fun to do. I'm playing a video game to have fun, not to work. I'm not here to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to just put in extra hours that I could be putting in for other shit. I know, no, bro. I just want to hop into the video game and play. But to then make it happen on another player who's also doing their own combos, right? I have to start with a specific button into specific communities. Just it doesn't feel flexible half the time. Exactly. That's why. That's why I like Tekken. Tekken 7 anyway. I like Tekken 7 because it didn't feel like I had to specifically do the combo that the devs wanted me to do. It felt like the devs let you just do any combo that you felt in your head. It felt free in that way. At least how I that's how I felt when it came to like playing Huarang, for example. I could just mash a certain set of combos and it worked. It just worked. Tekken 8 doesn't do that anymore. Tekken 7 was free flowing. It felt like every button could take me to a new combo string if I wanted it to. That feels like actual player expression and freedom. A lot of games don't do that, bro. Because unfortunately, like 3D fighting games allow you to do that. I don't know about 2D. Because the problem with 2D is like they have to animate all of that. And they're not, and most of them aren't going to like animate all the specific like that's a lot of combos to have to make. But Tekken is a 3D game, right? Virtua Fighter is a 3D game, so they have more freedom to do that. I think, in my opinion, like 2XKO, you don't have the freedom to express yourself combo wise because they just it would take forever to animate all of that. So they're not gonna do that. They're just not. They're like they have to animate that. They're not gonna animate all of that, bro. They're not gonna do that, bro. That's that in my opinion is the biggest reason for me because it's easier to play a 3D fighting game because most 3D fighting games are, at least in my experience, the ones that I've seen, they allow you to be open and self-expressive with your combo expression. You know what I'm saying? At least how that's how I look at it. So I like this. I like this opinion right here. Yes, I don't want to after trying it being complicated. Isn't it giving the game more credit? Takes more skill and patience. Right. This is just like it that like people like to be like, oh, it only takes like this much to do like a touch of death. Most players would be comp if that's the case. That's not how that works. Can't wait to learn the exact angle and arc to shoot the ball in the exact spot in the floor to dribble. Yeah, I'm good, man. Honestly, some people are like that. Right. Like I don't want to learn all this, bro. This is not true. Not true. You're oversimplifying the fighting game. And this is the biggest issue with fighting game players, bro. People who are so into like all this stuff, they like, oh, it just comes naturally, bro. It'll just come naturally to you. No, 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 no. Learning how to block or learning how to block a grab is not something that's comes naturally, bro. You have to go into the game lab and learn that. If you're not Like some people, I guess some people have a natural skill set to learn it, bro. But that's a minority. Let's be real. Man, this is sad, bro. It's sad because you're fighting a certain mentality. The mentality that I have, the quite literally, is like 95% of the fighting game community vehemently does not want to hear that. Want they do not like the casual stuff. They don't like the casual talk because they think the casuals ruin gaming, ruin the fighting games. Like, no, you're actually the ones ruining the fighting games because you're so heavily like glazing the fuck out of how complicated things have to be. You're so elitist about it. It doesn't. You don't have to like people just want to have fun, bro. Why can't people just have fun? Yeah, fighting games isolate you, meaning you can't blame anyone but yourself. No one can be a scapegoat. That's true. That's very true. That's very true. However, this is only applicable after like you know what you're doing. Like honestly, it's only applicable after you know what you're doing. Like it is isolating when you lose because it's a one-on-one experience. You lost. It's that simple, right? You can't blame anyone but yourself because you lost. But at the same time, I do think that we are allowed to blame the video game developers, the fighting game developers, for not giving us more options to learn these mechanics, to learn these fundamentals, in my opinion. Like this mentality this guy has about like the fighting games is so odd. Like maybe it's just not for you. No, like he got it because it is for him. But like I do agree finding other people to learn with, right? Having a rival. What the fuck? I mean, I guess, yeah. If you're competitive like that, sure. Just gotta, I don't know, practice. Huh? Won't be amazing. Just be happy with the hype wins you get. Don't match all the time. That's why this right here is the reason why we need more casual game modes. This would fix all the problems. This would fix all the issues. Because if I could play online while only focusing on while the game mode is focused around getting better at drive rushes, if there's a specific game mode in Street Fighter 6, a specific dedicated game mode in Street Fighter 6 that is dedicated to getting me to be better at drive rushes, and I'm fighting online with other people, against other people or with other people, and getting better at drive rushes, and teaching me how to get better at drive rushes. It's that simple. It's that simple. This will fix so many problems. This will fix so many issues. But for some reason, like developers just don't think of this shit. I don't get it. I don't get it. Because this person is asking for help, basically. Tell me it gets better later on. The main guy says find new people to learn with. Having a rival is the easiest way to learn. That's not really true. Um, I don't know, practice. It says just accept the hype wins you get. Be happy with it. Don't mash. change the way you play per round, change your rhythm, Daigo parry. I think that's a meme. That's a joke. But like seriously, like this shouldn't be the advice that people are telling you when it comes to getting better at a fighting game, bro. In my opinion, they should just say you need to go into this game mode and just learn and go into that game mode. Play this game mode. This game mode will actually teach you how to do it, and it's fun. It's a fun game mode. That's all. Like that would be so much easier for everybody. This one says pick an easier character to learn. But if I like Chun Li, I gotta pick a different character to play. That's a stupid that's a stupid response. I'm sorry, that's dumb. Pick an easier character to learn. No, I want to learn this character. I want to learn this character. Why the fuck should I have to go for a meta choice? Hmm. She's actually so hard to play and shut up. I'm sorry. This is dumb. This is a dumb. I don't no hate to this person, but like telling somebody to not play their favorite character and to play a quote unquote easier character is stupid. You've gotten to the point where you're so meta minded. Like you don't stop thinking about meta. There's no I like this character. I like Cody. Personally, I like Cody as a character. He's not in Street Fighter 6, but like when I played like other Street Fighter games, I used to play as Cody a lot. He's fun. Use modern, that's fine. Talk about competitive games at all. Yeah, for most competitive games. This may be a skill issue, but I'm tired of picking up a new fighting game, taking the time to learn the fundamentals and inputs, going to ranked, getting stomped by a sub with 4 minutes of game time, spamming auto combos and easy controls. It incentivizes players to learn the game the way it was meant to be played. You know that I'm not fully against that. Learn the game and you're still getting cooked by auto combos just means you need to learn more. I mean, you're not wrong. I think auto combos is a solution to a problem that didn't need auto combos as a solution. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that auto combos in my opinion is fine. I'm fine with auto combos. But to use auto combos as the way to get players into the game versus giving them a separate game mode that teaches them the specifics of learning how to do a specific combo or learning how to do the base fundamentals of of whatever in a combo, that's not that's a departure from what they need to learn. Like if you gotta learn how to do a half quarter circle or whatever in a combo, so instead of learning that, you learn the auto combo, and then the auto combo is easy to pull off. But if you get better at an auto combo, right? If you get better at an auto combo, you are going to get better at when to pull off an auto combo as opposed to learning the actual combo. Because why would I switch to a regular combo system if I could just keep the auto combo on and just get better at beating you with the auto combo? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like you're incentivizing me to keep using the auto combo versus actually going towards learning how to play the actual combo. Because it's like I think Maximilian said it where he was talking about how like the auto combo will incentivize you to the auto combo being weaker than a normal combo. It's supposed to incentivize you to use the normal combo to be stronger, but that's dumb as hell to me. That's dumb as hell to me. I'm sorry. That's dumb. Dumb. That's dumb. What are we doing? What? What are we doing? What are we talking about here? Right? Like this is dumb. This is dumb. I'm sorry, that is dumb. No. That is not going to incentivize me to go into a regular combo. I'm just going to get better at the auto combo and get better at knowing when and when not to use the auto combo. Right? I'm not going to want to switch to a normal combo system if the auto combo works fine. Even if the auto combo is weaker, I'm still going to beat you if I'm better at you than with the auto combo and knowing when to use the auto combo. That's all I'm saying. It's just it doesn't incentivize what they think it incentivizes, because you can't really quantify that in the game. So they just keep making half-educated guesses about what casual players need to get better at a fighting game. Okay, last one. It's a long ass video. I should have went live probably. But here's the issue at hand. Other genres allow you to learn from just playing the game. Fighting games typically don't allow for this, leading to a lot of frustration when a new player realizes they have to do study sessions to actually enjoy the game, which is unlike other genres. Right. The paradox being, if you make the game too easy, it also leads to negative feelings from established players. That's the issue. I agree. I agree. I don't know about MOBAs. You don't need to practice. MOBAs don't MOBAs don't count for this, or Fortnite really. Well, Fortnite kind of. But honestly with Fortnite, like this is not the same thing, because when you learn a MOBA, right? You are you're just playing the game, and you play the character you like, and you learn what the character can do. And then over the course of you playing online and playing the game, you're going to learn what you need to do to get to win the battle. It's a team battle. It's a team game. So it's different, not the same thing. And Fortnite is usually a team, unless you play solos. But like with builds, like yeah, you can practice with builds, but they're like there's game modes in Fortnite that will help you practice how to build better. That's what the whole custom thing is partially about. There's literally ways to have fun and play online with learning how to build. Like that's what I've been saying this whole video. This whole video is all I've been saying this whole video, is that quite literally, all you need is a separate game mode that you can play online and learn how to play specific mechanics of the game with that game mode. Fighting games do not do that. I'm sorry, they do not do that. Not really. You can learn on the fly. Right. Like Deadlock, you do. League actually has an issue with this now where it doesn't feel rewarding. If I'm learning best, I can learn while engaging in casual games with those on my level. Facts. In fighting games, you go online, just get whipped by elitist community. You'll be like learning basketball and told to play against NBA players. Joyer. But that what they need to do is make single player content better. Dab me up. Exactly. Single player content needs to be better. Single player content needs to be more enjoyable. That's why World Tour was so cool. That's why Tekken had a little World Tour mode, right? They're trying to get more people, more casual players into the gaming market, into the fighting game market. Single player is a way to do it. but game modes that specifically help you learn the game while also being online is going to help people learn the game. Brain blast. What? This is true. Try new stuff. Need to play a different person. Mm, yeah. Winfield Game Special is the most massive deterrent for most players. Talk about it. These commands that will only be used 1 out of 100 matches, but will determine whether you're going to lose just lame for most people. Saying just 50-50. That doesn't make it better. That doesn't make his argument. That doesn't debunk his argument. That actually like backs up his argument. If anything, why the fuck would I want to do that? It's just not worth it, bro. Barrier entry is crazy high. Lots of combos require button inputs. Exclusive to fighting games. Exclusive to fighting games. And sometimes only those fighting games large roster means you have to learn a lot of characters to do with what characters can do what. In fighting games, elites are always punching down because they play for 5 or 10 years to get good. So why can't anyone else? Can't load into the game. It's fine. This guy, this creator is not helping at all. Honestly, guys, like this shit is crazy because I'm like I hate that I hate that I'm gonna have to like I hate that we are having this conversation when it comes to fighting games because there is no reason like I don't want to like cuz I think a lot of people who are into these fighting games like heavily who are like serious fans of fighting games really really overemphasize the training aspect of it. Like they just don't understand why other people can't do why other people don't want to get into the training mentality of it. They just can't understand that people just want to have fun. I just want to hop on a game and enjoy myself. At the core of all of this, I genuinely believe at the core of all of this, fighting game players who are heavily into fighting games are people who like they feel like that they have to I don't know, like they take this militarized mentality, this militarization of fighting, of martial arts, of learning something. They think that learning requires you to be militaristic about it. And it's like, no, 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 no. Learning is supposed to be fun. Learning things is supposed to be enjoyable. Yeah? Just because you enjoy going into the lab and practicing the same combo over and over again for hours in the lab does not mean that other people want to do that. Does not mean that that makes the game good per se or bad. It just means that like you specifically like going into the lab and doing that. That's your prerogative. You can do that. But you need to be open-minded and think about the idea that some people just don't want to do that. Some people genuinely just don't want to do that. That's not fun. That's not how I learn. And I think the biggest thing that comes from this, that I think is the biggest disconnect, is that different people learn in different ways. Some people learn by doing. Some people learn by repetition. Some people learn by enjoying what they're doing. I get better when I'm having fun. You know what I'm saying? When I'm having fun and enjoying myself, I learn. When I actually feel like the community is, when it feels like the group of people that I'm playing with is also having fun, I have fun too. And now I learn more because I get to fuck around more. And then on top of that, like when I when I'm deciding to you know play, like for example, if I'm playing a fighting game with like Gummo and Rose, like I play because I want to have fun. I don't want to think about practicing. I don't want to think about any of that. It's fun to just have fun. Just play the game and have fun, right? I'm with the boys. We're playing, but the problem is that sometimes, you know, people get butthurt over like being like or losing, or they get butthurt over like the competitive aspect of it, and I don't. I've learned to just I don't care. I don't care about like losing or winning all the time. I don't want to win all the time. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy myself. That's why I like playing. That's why if you look on my gaming channel, I have so many live streams of me just playing Brawlhalla. I might go back into playing Brawlhalla, low-key. I don't know. Um, I haven't played in a while, but like that's why I like playing Brawlhalla, because Brawlhalla has game modes that doesn't require me to think too much. You know what I'm saying? And also it partially teaches you how to get better at certain things in the game. Even though Brawlhalla is a very simple game, if you were to take that idea and put it into Tekken, for example, or put it into Street Fighter 6, there's so much potential for those mini games, bro. Different game modes that teaches you different things, and you can play online, and there's a ranking mode for that. That's fun. I don't like, you know what I'm saying? So that's just that's my hour and 30 minutes opinion about why there needs to be more casual game modes in fighting games. Yeah. That's my pitch. That's so hopefully anybody who's planning on making a fighting game in the future, please make game modes that teaches you the fundamentals of the game while also being online, okay, and also having a ranked version at the same time. You have a casual and a ranked version, okay. I'd rather you have a shit ton of game modes than a shit ton of combos, bro. I'd rather more game modes and less combos versus more combos and less game modes. I want more game modes. We need more game modes and more stuff to do in the game. Like, what are we doing? So, yeah, that's just my opinion. I should have went live and just talked about it live, but fuck it, man. I don't know. Yeah, I'll see you guys in another video, I guess.